Well, hello. All right, take two. This is take 7, actually. There's been a few different takes. Hello, though. Hope everything's working accordingly now. Let's get these windows down. It's way too hot up here. So here's the crack. We are streaming for the first time using the Kiloview P3 Mini. I don't know if you can get a frame of it here, a little shot of it. It's on my big pec. I've permanently mounted it to my big pec. It's a tidy little unit, and we are going to put it through its runs. Put it through its runs? That's the wrong phrase. We're going to put it through its. We're going to test it. We're testing it on a road trip. We're testing it using the Starlink Mini and a 4G connection with Optus. Before we go too much further, I'm going to verify that this is working live. Yeah, first time I've used the Starlink Mini, and the first time I've used the P3 Mini. So I'm going to go to my channel here on both Beam Machine. Refresh my trousers. Oh, by the way, this is an interesting stream. We are okay. It looks all good there. We are using so we're not live. Hang on, what am I trying to say? There's no overlays, there's no alerts, there's no on-screen stuff. It's just a raw stream into Beam, and with that in mind, if you chat elsewhere, I'm pretty certain it will pop up on the Beam chat, so the multi-chat, so I'll be able to see you. Let me just put a chat message in the YouTube to verify that. So if I just chat something here, subscribers only mode? Oh, cool. I got subscriber only mode turned on. And I'm not signed in here, so I can't chat in my own chat. Okay, bad luck. Okay, I'll just verify that it's all working here, and then someone will chat at some point, and we'll see. Yeah, so the stream's fine. Okay, so just as a heads up, if you want to chat, do it well, actually, can someone chat for me somewhere? I don't know. I see the viewers, 57 viewers on Part High. But if someone chats, I'll see it there on BeamStream, but otherwise I won't see it. Now, the other thing to mention is we are going on a road trip. I've got a gig tonight in Canberra, and so I'm going to drive us down there. But this stream and this series of streams will be kind of like a small Uluru mission, if you like similar stuff, like driving, setting up camp, hanging out, shooting the shit, doing the good fun times. However, tonight or today's stream will probably just get us to, like, because I got that gig on, I'm just going to pull up somewhere. Maybe not even in Canberra. Maybe we'll just go. I know a campsite we can stop on the way or something and just have a little look. But then I'm going to shut the stream down and go on to do this gig, and then I'll catch you guys up in the morning tomorrow. So this particular stream won't be a full camp stream. This will just be getting us to the spot loosely somewhere down in camp, somewhere near Canberra. I don't know. We'll just drive for a while and see, because I am concerned about the Kiloview P3 Mini. In all the testing I've done leading up to today, it handles low bit rate and signal loss very differently than the LiveView Solo that we've been using up until now, and very differently to the Teradek VideoU Go and the Teradek Wave that I used sort of on and off in New Zealand, in Queenstown. The way that this handles low bit rate or lack of signal is that it slows everything down. So there's an auto bit rate adjust feature, and if you turn that on, when we go through pockets of like the Starlink disappearing and the 4G not being there, what it does is everything just slows down. And then when the signal catches, and you'll see what I mean, like my vocal will be out of sync, and then when it catches up, everything will just go really fast and join back up, and then you'll be up to speed. But I don't know if I like that or I dislike it. It's certainly intriguing. There is no... So I'm not streaming to any service. I'm streaming from the P3 Mini directly to their server, the Kiloview Server Pro. And just as a heads up, I understand that the server, it's a little bit misleading because Kiloview say that the server is free, but if I understand correctly, you still need to host the server somewhere. So it's more accurate to say that the server software is completely free, but you need to host it somewhere. Now, they have provided me with hosting of their own, but I would assume if you buy one of these products, you also have to have like an Amazon Web Service or the equivalent, some server hosting of your own that you can install their software on, and that's how the server becomes free. I might have got that wrong, but they're providing that for my use. I don't think the exact same is extended to everybody, because there's kind of like in the documentation there's conflicting discussion about what the server actually means. Other little stuff in this setup, there is a stream to local server or stream to the Kiloview. I don't know what that means. A local server would be a server installed on the device. That seems a little strange, like an RTMP. Well, you're doing that anyway because you got to send the signal from the hardware somewhere. So none of it's local, none of it's a local server. They're all sending it out. So either way, this signal goes from the P3 Mini to the Kiloview Pro server. It then sends it out to, in my case, beamstream.gg, and beamstream.gg then multi-streams it out everywhere. I'm going to say I'm not 100% certain. Well, as I think about it, if you have to use the server for the bonding to work, that's the way I'm seeing it. You need to. Well, it makes sense. The bonding doesn't happen here on the hardware. The bonding happens somewhere, like on a LiveView Solo with their LRT, Live Reliable Transport. So you send your signal from the hardware, LiveView Solo, goes up to the LRT cloud or whatever. They take whichever one's the strongest signal, then they on-send it to your ingest. Same situation here. P3 Mini from Kiloview sends the signal up to the Kiloview Pro server Pro. It does all the bonding there, sends it out to Beamstream. And in that point, or at that point, is where it does the adjusting bit rate if it loses signal. So previously, when we lost signal, we would have a be right back screen pop up. And that's because in my other iteration of doing this, I would send the signal before it goes to, after it goes from the LRT LiveView Solo Live Reliable Transport server, it would go into a stream setup called Go Lightstream. And the only reason I used to do that is because Go Lightstream's the only place I could find that had an RTMP input, so for a feed, and it's all browser based. So it's all in the cloud. You could send that signal into their server, and you could add your browser source URLs, your chats, your donation alerts. All that stuff was done at Go Lightstream. And in that package, they also gave you bitrate protection. So if they didn't receive a signal, the stream would stay up, and you would just have a be right back screen until the signal came back up. And from there, it would then go out to all the multi-streams. I'm not doing that anymore, mainly because Go Lightstream changed their plans, their tiers. They got rid of the one I was on, or it's still there, but it's extremely expensive. And what they replaced it with is called Studio 2, which has an asterisk at the bottom saying RTMP coming. And I've been in touch with those guys saying it's been that way for about 8 months. Is there any update to how long until because you need RTMP to send from this device. To send it anywhere, it needs an RTMP or SRT, but in this case RTMP. So you need to be able to send a signal into it They still don't have it there. It's got the asterisk, it says coming soon. They said to me it's not here yet. So, hey Comtech, how you doing, man? On Kick. How you doing, man? You're streaming early. Yeah, I'm on a road trip, dude. A little road trip mission here, Comtech. So that's a good check. I just saw a Kick chat come in on multi-stream. And here comes the dickhead over on Kick as well. Okay, so yeah, good to see you, Comtech. Apologies for that extremely stupid comment coming after you there. I don't know who that Yahoo is. We're doing a little road trip action here, testing a hardware device called the P3 Mini. The screen just went off, but that's okay. It does that, and it just turns itself off after 10 minutes. So all that said, if you wanted to support this content, if you like what you're seeing here and you want to somehow contribute, in the About section on all the platforms, you'll see a link to Starlink. You'll see a Starlink referral link. Now what this is, I'm paying for Starlink, right? I'm not paying for this Kiloview P3 Mini. They've loaned it to me for testing purposes. More than likely it's got to go back to them. That wasn't stipulated, but I'm assuming it goes back to them. But I am paying for Starlink. I'm paying $195 a month for Starlink to have this facility to be able to stream. Now, how you can help me, it's super easy. If you know of anybody that's even talking about putting a Starlink dish up at home, on their RV, at their business, down the coast on a farmland, whatever it is, they're going to need to buy it and they're going to need to pay for their monthly service. If you use my referral link, they get 1 month for free. Simple, right? They get a full month free. Whatever they sign up to, it's free for the first month. And so I get a month free. Now, this is the beautiful thing about this code. You can send that code to anybody you like. They don't need to be related to streaming. They don't need to be related to me. They don't even need to be in Australia. They just need to be looking to purchase a Starlink. If they click my link that you send them, a little drop down pops up when they go to the website. It says, you're using a referral, and then the little thing pops away, and that's the only difference, and they get a free month. It's super simple, and it would help me. If one person did that, that means I've covered this month of streaming. One person. If 2 people do it, we can stream for 2 months. If 3 people do it, 3 months. And by the way, I'm still going to pay for it if no one does it, but if you really wanted to help, that's the way you can do it. It's the greatest referral program ever, because it's no different to you or me where you've clicked, except that when you click my link, little drop down goes, it's pretty rad. The website just goes, a top bar comes down and goes, you're using a referral, and then it goes back up and it disappears, and there's no difference at that point to your experience. So I beg of you, send that link out wide and far. Now let's start moving here. Let's see how we go. We're going to drive a little ways, a few 100 kilometers. Let's put on that view so you can see the road. Now I cannot remember, when we last did this, did we have the picture-in-picture up the top right-hand corner? I cannot recall where we had it. Was it like that? Was that where it was, or was it down the bottom? I cannot recall what we did. Yeah, and also I'm going to grab myself my water bottle before we roll out. Someone let me know where the picture-in-picture was. I think it's top right. Whatever we did the first time, no one liked it and we changed it. I'm just going to get a water bottle. Okay, so nobody answered me. Okay, why won't anybody? Oh, scrolling paused, resume, my bad. Comtech, testing on D-Live as well. Thank you, Comtech. I believe it was on the lower right corner. I'm not sure. I can put it on the lower right. Thank you, Comtech. Let me just do that now. I could have just gone and checked from one of the previous streams, but lower right works for me. Yeah, I can't remember either, but if lower right works. And by the way, the scrolling was paused, so I couldn't see the chat comment, but now we're good. Drinking water goes up there. So yeah, there's a few changes that I've made to GoVan, which you'll see over the course of the next few days. I'll explain them all to you. I'll show them all to you. You probably won't see many today, depending on how long we stop for, or where we stop and when we stop. But there are changes that I've made to GoVan. So can I make that beam chat larger? Yeah, there you go. All right, let's roll out of this town. I just came here to get some groceries. We got a full tank of fuel, we got a full tank of water, drinking water, we got all the groceries we need for a few days. Yo, Dudsky, how you doing, man? Melbourne Doug. Road tripping like the old days. It's the old days. It's only been... When was Uluru? I feel like that wasn't that long ago. That was... When was Uluru? October, no, August. My birthday, August. And we came back October, August. So half of August, or the end of August, all of October, oh sorry, all of September, and about half of October. So this is now March, and it's autumn, the fall in Australia. The daytime weather is like really pleasant. Nighttime gets down to about 12, 13 Celsius. Looking for an adventure, yeah, and that's what I've got a loose plan of what I'm doing. Tonight's the only, or tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm catching up with a skateboard photographer, a gentleman by the name of David Pang. If you search him up, and you search up skateboard photographer, you'll find his work. He's been in the skate photography business for decades. And he took some photos of me in about 2004 at some comps in Adelaide, the airbag landing comp, 2 years in a row. And I'd never seen those photos. And he posted them on Facebook, and I was blown away. He lives in Canberra. So I'm going to see him, and maybe I'm going to buy some of those prints to put on my wall. Pretty impressive just to see those old school photos. The good days. Fun days. Stalling going on there on the stream. I don't know about that. I think it's stalled out. Left town yet. Should I go home and get the Kiloview solo? We've streamed along this stretch of road, plenty of time for the Kiloview solo with no dramas. I don't think this is working. Interesting. I'll stop when I can and we'll check. Could just be my playback though. Actually, if everything's been okay in the chat, just let me know what the stream quality's been like. It's stalled out for me. Probably a good thing anyway. Take a left anyway, but I'm going to pull in and stop. There's a little clearing here I can just stop in, and I've got to check this stream situation. I'll just stop here. So we should be fully under the open sky, but yeah, it's not. To me, the device says it's still streaming, but my receivership here, I'm just going to refresh my trousers here. I'm just going to refresh my trousers and see if was it just my end? Yo, Jake's in the chat. Scrolling pause. So the stream's still up. Was it down for a moment there? I wonder if it's... It could be... Nah. It's way behind. Ah, shit. Okay, so when I refresh the stream, it's so far behind. I don't know if we can use this device, guys. I don't know if I can use it. It's... I don't know. Where's my YouTube stream? I don't know if I can use this. Am I not live on YouTube now? See, if it's dropped on YouTube, is this not live? See, we just drove for 30 minutes. I don't know if I can do this, dudes. I don't know if I can use this device. The way it handles low bit rate. Here we are live. Crystal Rose over on YouTube. Why didn't I see that? Always up for a road trip. Thank you, Crystal Rose. Why didn't I see that on okay, I don't know what to say, but I'm just going to take it back a moment and see. It could just be my I don't know. I'm going to try setting up the Wi-Fi. And I didn't bring that. Damn it, I can't do that. I didn't bring the Wi-Fi antenna. Oh, come on, you're kidding me. Crystal Rose, I don't know why I don't see your chat comment in Beam. I see it in YouTube. Still live on YouTube. Thank you, Crystal. I see you on YouTube. I don't know why it didn't bring that up on Beam, but it's not there. My last comment is from Doug. Hello. I'll just put this on the and see if it pops the other ones up. Nope. I don't know. It's not pulling in from YouTube. Awesome. So I'm gonna just I don't know what I'm gonna do, because like when I refresh Beamstream, it's stuck back over here on the drive out. So I don't know what to I don't know what to do or say, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and like I'm gonna go ahead and assume that everything's working, because this is, after all, this is a test of this product. And if we can't stream the way that we normally would stream, well then that's the result of this product. The result is this product doesn't work. So I'm gonna take it for a run for the next 3 to 4 days, and we will just, it'll be like we're in New Zealand without, when we took the Teradek Mini, the Teradek Video Go and the Teradek Wave, and we didn't have the LiveView Solo. We're gonna rely solely on the P3 Mini and all of its flaws, and that's how the stream's gonna be. I can't see a YouTube chat on Beamstream for some weird reason. So I'd suggest coming over to Beam if you want to chat. But I do like that the stream is still running on YouTube, but I just can't see the chat there. So if you want to chat, come on over to beamstream.gg, and hopefully I see it. But I mean, I'm gone. I'm doing this mission anyway, and I was hoping that the P3 Mini would come along for the ride. But if it's gonna, I'm not gonna let it worry me. I'm not gonna let it bother me. I'm just gonna stream as if it's all working. Someone just put a chat comment in Beam. That'd be helpful, or in Kick, or on DLive. I'm assuming the YouTube chat's not working for Beam, but if you can chat on DLive or Kick, that would be handy for me. Somewhere. How long have you been doing this? About 10 minutes. few days road trip. So the other thing for me to note, or to me to remember, is that last time we streamed like this, there was Marty with me. And so one person was driving and the other was checking the chat. It's actually against the law for me to have a VDU, a visual display unit, open while I'm driving. So in that case, I'm going to close my iPad and I'm only going to open it and check it when we stop the vehicle. I'm not going to, we had the ability when there was two of us to be able to entertain the chat. So I'm going to close this. And from here on in, I'm just going to assume everything's working and I'm going to concentrate on driving, and maybe I'll talk every now and then to you, but I'm not going to be seeing a response at all. That's just the nature of, unless I could have TTS in my ears, which would be a Beam thing, which I don't think exists at this point. Beam Stream doesn't have TTS. I looked at Prism Live. Prism seems to be the go-to sort of IRL streaming software. However, it doesn't allow RTMP ingest, so you cannot send a camera source into it. It's just straight off your phone or nothing at all. So not suitable for what I need. There is a very expensive option called IRL Toolkit. It's basically like an OBS in the cloud, like a dumbed down version of OBS in the cloud. It's extremely expensive. It's like $1,000 for the year. Add that to $195 a month for Starlink. For this live streamer, you're looking at way too much money for that. a few trees down. It's pretty gnarly weather of late. And then I'll pull in and check the stream. There's a place coming up in about 3 to 4 minutes that I can pull in and just scope out what's going on. The other option is, if this hasn't been working, we could just not stream the journey, just stream the destinations. We talked about that once before. Pull in here and check the shizzle on the strizzle. Just here it will do. I wonder how that's all been going. If it's been going okay or if it's been horrible, please let me know in whatever chat you're in. I will be checking it momentarily. 7 meg it says. Okay, that seems like a good amount of megages. Let me know though. I'll just bring it up here. I'll bring it up both on Beam Machine, and I'll bring it up on Shiloh's in the house. Shiloh Rose. Looks like he's going 150 kilometers an hour. I was only doing 80. This machine, it only does 80. No good on my end. It was no good, Shiloh? Was it no good that whole time? I think I know. I think I know what you're referring to. It's good now you stopped. Look, so do you guys think, I mean, that was mostly under treetop coverage. How you doing, Netskis, by the way? It was pixelated a few times and low quality. Now it's clear. Is it? Okay, so there's two things to factor in. That particular stretch of road was very tree covered, and I know from driving that road very often, there is no 4G there. So that was all the wrong things. No 4G and horrendous potential for tree coverage for Starlink. Well, now we're about to hit the open highway. There's 4G towers scattered around the areas, and it's typically an open. I feel like we should continue driving with the stream on, but ultimately it comes down to this. If it's such a bad experience, we might just stream the destinations and not the drives. That was an idea that we brought up once before, just to stream the destination, not the journey. What I'm finding intriguing is that it is still up on YouTube though, so it hasn't dropped long enough for it to disappear. But it has been pixelated a few times and low quality. Now it's clear. Interesting, yeah. It's already midday too. I'm gonna have to stop for lunch. Either way, let's get out on the highway and start heading towards the Berra of Cairns, and we'll make a decision, I guess. Yeah, we'll make a decision. So we'll see how it goes now for the next little while skis. By the way, I didn't plug my phone in either. I need to keep that on charge. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Pretty interesting though. pretty open skies here. The Starlink should be good, right, for all of it. And there's a 4G tower just over there, because I know we've streamed down there before, back in the 4G only days. I smell bushfire. Man, it's a beautiful day. right-hand right-hand rear wheel. So much water coming out that it's creating its own path. Wow. Campers, eh? You know. CarPlay doesn't work anymore. We crank up some tunes. Now it's working. Wait a second, I can't do this. I'm gonna get stinged by copyright, aren't I? There'll be no tuneses. I need to have lunch though. Should I just pull him down there? Ah, I should have pulled in there. Bugger. I'll just keep going and then I'll pull in somewhere soon. Got a muesli bar pretty good here. 97 k's to Braidwood, where we may stop for lunch, or maybe beforehand. Dean's Gap Road, could have gone up there. I like to explore those kind of places, whatever they are, fire trails and stuff. Canberra 166, that's our destination. Not very far. Considering we were doing 400 maximum on the Uluru mission per day. This is quite a short little. uphill, oncoming vehicle. Who am I to judge? You stupid truck driver. Not going to stop at the Jerry-Boyla lookout this time. I know it so well. Could have lunch there, but decided against it this time. It's beautiful down there, though. We stream from there. We'll stream from there again sometime in the future. This guy's pretty keen too. Wow, that's on a bend. I mean, I do drive slow. I drive 80. The speed limit along here is 90, I believe. I don't even look at the speed I do. I just look at the RPMs. I keep it at 2,000. Typically that's around 80. We worked it out that 2,000 revs per minute is the most fuel economy, the most fuel economic way that this vehicle rolls. That's being silly. But you know what I'm saying? Like that was keeping it at 80 at 2,000 revs. Got 547 k's to the tank. Absolutely away. What's rattling back there? Something's rattling. Everybody's banging past me. I'm doing 80 and they're trying to do 100. I've got a caravan behind me. Calm down, caravan. Peace and love. got this. This is a town called Sassafras. Sassafras. I remember this place. This is it, isn't it? Sassafras. Just like saying that word, Sassafras. Also population 4, Bronx. Sounds like the Wacky Races cartoon. Dick Dastardly. What's off to the side here? Oh, great spot for a lunch, maybe. No, someone's house. Someone's house. I'm gonna just pull in there into that meadow and just park up for a while. Can't do it. Can't do it. Sassafras. Densely forested area. Green trees. Where does this go? Emmerich's River Fire Trail, New Haven Gap. Let's see what happens around this bend. I guess I'm just going to pull up here against this open area. Yeah, we'll just park up here and have lunch. One day I'll explore what that gap is. Not today though. Yeah, there's all kinds of muck right here. I'll just reverse up out of it. That gets us off of it. Now, one thing I want to do out of curiosity is just check how much power my alternator's been putting back into the battery setup, because when we left the Culburra, 94% was the battery. We've been driving for about an hour, 97%, so we put in 3%. And we're draining 7.8 amps, running the fridge, the alternator. What else are we running? The fridge, the alternator. Oh, and we're using some charge stuff going on here. How's the stream going? Let me check. Still says it's bonded here at 7 meg. That's good. I'll just trouser refresh it here. And refresh that trouser. Also put on my glasses. Netskis, well, if that was Starlink, it wasn't too bad. The trees would be the reason for the signal going weird. Be good to see it open road test. Wait. Command R, refresh. 3 watching now. YouTube stream still running. Okay, that's good. The last comment was 11:59 from Shyla. Says stream has not started yet. Oh shit. What? It says stream has not started yet. Ready? But it's live on YouTube. It says it's live on YouTube. What's going on? No viewers on Beam? Huh? says it's live. Streaming right now. The stream. Okay, I don't like the. I do not like how the Kiloview P3 Mini handles low bit rate. I don't think it's on. I don't think it's on. I've got a pee anyway, but I don't think it's running. Is it on? It doesn't make sense because it says that it's streaming. You are live, Rob Mac. Thank you. Thanks, man. Okay, thanks, dude. Okay, I'm going to take a quick piss. Thanks for letting me know. Beamstream says I'm not, but you say I am. But the video is at least 5 minutes behind. Holy shit. Interesting. Thanks, man. The video's behind, but the audio's up to speed. Okay, I know. Okay, let me take a slash and then I'm going to talk about that. So what we got going on there, video's at least 5 minutes behind. That is how the P3 Mini, that's how the P3 Mini handles low bit rate. I personally do not like that. I would rather the stream stay up to date audio and visual at the same time, but the bit rate lowers and we get either pixelation or mosaic or whatever. The video has you parking up just now. Yeah, okay. So I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting way of doing things. I would rather the Live-View solo version of it. But it is intriguing that it hasn't dropped entirely. It's not a very good user experience though, because you're watching and my mouth isn't moving or until it syncs itself up. We're completely out of touch with each other, right? It's intriguing, man. Intriguing idea. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of like, it's almost like a be right back screen, but you're not going anywhere. You're still there. You're just not seeing what's live. Rob, can you do me a favor? Can you check if it's still live on Kick and D Live as well? I'm going to crank up some lunch here. Got some sandwich to make. Oh, there's more shit on that side too. We're okay on this side. I got the chat here so I can at least talk to you yahoos. That's weird, man. And the other thing that's weird about my van these days, my step out doesn't quite work all the time. It just works whenever it wants to. So oh, Charlotte, is Charlotte in the chat? It's live on Kick, thank you, man. The video stays at the same time even when you refresh. And there goes my step out, just came out just then. The video stays at the same time even when you refresh. It's a weird way of doing things, that's for certain. Like what? Like, let's get off picture in picture. That is weird, man. What a strange way of doing it. Just going to turn this off. And go back to this camera. Yeah, that's definitely an odd way of doing things. If I'm leaning towards choosing, I would choose the other way. I wouldn't choose this as the way to do it. It's not a very good user experience. And it also means when we arrive to a campsite, there'll be like a 30-minute delay. DLive is running a replay. Is it now? I'll turn DLive off and turn DLive back on again. DLive wasn't running live. Okay, I just turned it on and off again. That's intriguing. Yeah, yeah, interesting. DLive is live now. Yeah, Rob Mac, I turned it off and on Beam. I just triggered it on Beam, turned it off. I got some guacamole I made last night. By the way, still rocking Marty's girlfriend's Tupperware that was supposed to go back to her. Guacamole with cottage cheese and a little chili in there as well. And in honor of Marty, I don't know if Charlotte's still watching or watching the replay, whatever. In honor of Marty, on the last road trip, Marty had this, and it sat in the back of the van for, well and truly after he left, I discovered it, and I tasted it, and I was like, this is amazing! Pine orange fruit drink. So I got 2 liters of it. What? Both are on special, like it was half price. Yeah, this was just so tasty. The funny thing is, that might not have been it. That might not have been the one that we had. Doesn't taste as good as it did that time. Yeah, I was so frothing about that, but I haven't had it since then. I literally haven't had it since that road trip. And on the road trip, I made such a big deal about how rad it was. And this is the first time I'm having it ever since then. Rob, let me know when it gets up to speed with, like, when the audio and everything gets up to sync. That'd be interesting to know. Shame we can't see what you're talking about. Okay, so it's not up to speed right now, yeah. It'll catch up. Like, I'm assuming it'll catch up. What if it doesn't, though? What if it doesn't catch up? Shit, That's an interesting thought. What happens if it doesn't catch up? By the way, when we get to a campsite and we're hanging out together, I got something to show you. So a few additions to GoVan that just make all the difference. And I just used one just then, and it's perfect. Can't show it to you now, though. Where's me salt and pepper? It's still slowing down and speeding up. I wonder, Rob, I can turn off auto adjust bitrate. I can turn that off on the hardware side here, and maybe that might put it back to where it was. Let me just try that. Hold on a second. Settings. No, do it on here. Auto adjust bitrate, I'll turn that off. I turned off auto adjust bitrate. Just see what that does, if anything at all. Might take a few minutes to trigger or to make any difference. So the big difference with the way that the Kiloview Solo would handle that bit rate would be that it would just pixelate and it would just get a little sketchified. That's the difference, the key difference, I guess. So at some point you'll see my lunch, you'll see the pine orange fruit drink. Wait, are you saying it's still slowing down and speeding up, but we're at lunch, like we're at the spot? Let me go to YouTube. Oh, you're saying yes. Oh wow, okay. Okay, I'm on YouTube now, checking it out. Oh, you're saying yes. Oh wow, okay. So why is it doing that? We're stuck, we're not moving. Awesome. Kiloview, what's going on? I think I should have brought the Kiloview Solo with me. This isn't going to work, is it? This is shit. This is a horrible experience. Can I check on the server side? I want to just check on the server and see if I can do anything. Let me put my lunch back in the fridge though. Wow, I thought you meant that you were hearing me, but you were still seeing the footage from the road. But it's actually, we're up to speed now. Weird. So strange. I'm going to have a look at the server. Not that I know really much about what I'm supposed to be seeing. Where are my glasses? There. I might drop an email to support and say, any suggestions? I might do that first, actually. I'm going to drop an email quickly to support. Any suggestions? My stream visual is lagging behind the audio substantially despite solid connections. We're at 8 meg here. Bizarre, dude. Let me grab the stream. Maybe there'll be something that tells me in the YouTube dashboard. Sometimes in the YouTube control room, my bad, it tells you bitrate issues. Warning, the stream's current bitrate, 3,000 kilobytes, 3 meg, is lower than the recommended bitrate. But it says here it's streaming at 8.2 meg. The hell are you talking about? It says 8.2 meg. That's weird. Just opening up the Tupperware now. Okay, I wonder, out of curiosity, could this be a beam? Oh, I haven't checked the. Let me check the. Let me send this email off, and then I'm gonna then check the get shareable link. Connection is excellent. I'm going to directly address Barry. He's the tech guy. My stream visual is lagging behind the audio substantially despite solid connections. Just send that off. I just wonder, is there any chance that Beamstream could be potentially sending it out incorrectly? If that was the case, it's the first time in, man, forever since I've been using Beamstream that that's occurred. But last night, Barry sent me an email saying, I said, hey Barry, I did 2 tests last night for my own sanity. I changed my output to GH5 to full HD 1080/30, 100 megabits, set the P3 mini to 8 meg, and adjusted auto bitrate on. I changed the buffer size to 1000. During the test, I randomly killed the 4G and the fiber to the premises to see how the stream handled the disconnect. This is where we encountered the audio sync issues, which is what we're seeing right now. Would you advise me to turn off auto adjust bitrate? I did a super quick test to verify that myself and did not like how it handles the drop. So I did this last night. So I know what we're seeing here. It's because it dropped we're seeing the way that all we're seeing is how the P3 mini handles low bit rates. I said, ultimately, I'm confused as to whether I should use auto adjust bitrate or not, but I'm leaning towards using it, and I turned it on for this stream. He said last night, considering the various uncertain network conditions encountered when using Starlink outdoors in Australia, I'm still recommending leaving adaptive bitrate on. As for the buffering time, I don't know how much the delay of Starlink will be, and our Kilolink Server Pro can only monitor the network fluctuations in the last few minutes to give you a reference value. If the buffering time does not affect your program much, I'd suggest adjusting it to a larger value. Well, let me do that. Let me adjust the buffer. I think I went to the wrong place. It's the one that ends in 152. Okay, there's two different servers that they gave me, and this one's the one I need, the ones that ends in 52. Are there any server engineers watching that would like a login? See if they can fix this? So I'm assuming the buffer he's talking about is how much data the device is sending the server, how much that stores in its own cache, if you like, before sending it out. Status attention. Event details. It says my device memory usage is over 80%. Please check the device working status. The traffic up is only not even a meg. Okay, I'm going to just send this off. The device memory usage. That's the buffer then. That's the buffer. I'm going to change it back. I'm going to change the buffer down. Where is it? I'm going to change the buffer size down. Memory usage is at CPU is at 48, memory usage 83. Buffer size is at 1000. Network jitter. Tips. It is recommended to fill a buffer time greater than or equal to network jitter. Network jitter is 58,800. 588,000. I'll just copy that and put it in